The wind howled like a living thing outside the city dome of Norvale. Stormlight flickered through the crystalline walls, casting fractured shadows across the curved corridors. Cale adjusted his collar and tapped the override on his door panel. He was alone, or so he believed. Then the room dimmed. "Don't scream," came a whisper from behind him. He spun, a figure emerged from the corner, cloaked in the pale blue shimmer of active camouflage. As it dropped, a woman stood there, violet skin glistening with the humidity of the storm. Her eyes shimmered silver, wide and unblinking. "Nava," she said simply. "I don't know you," Cale replied, instinctively reaching for the pulse dagger at his side. She raised her hands. "You will." Nava stepped forward, close enough that he could feel the warmth of her body through the electric tension of the room. Lightning flashed outside. The moment felt impossibly surreal. "You snuck into a diplomat's room during a red alert," he said. "I needed something real," she whispered, "before they decide who I am." She kissed him. He resisted for half a second. Then his body answered for him. In that strange, storm-drenched night, they forgot who they were. Only bodies spoke. Only touch mattered. He woke to cold sheets and a blinking console. The logs had been wiped, her presence erased. But the storm hadn't lied, and neither had her skin against his. He checked every record, nothing. And yet, her scent still clung to the sheets. Cale sat at his desk, replaying the moment in his mind. Who was she? Why had she chosen him, and why erase it all? His questions would only multiply. Because by sunset, he would see her again, smiling at another man, pretending he didn't exist. The Great Hall of Balance was aglow with lantern orbs, floating gently above the heads of delegates from 10 worlds. Cale stood on the outer tier, a formal tunic wrapped in earth-tone cloths draped across his chest, his eyes locked on the central dais. There she stood, Nava, cloaked in shimmering silver and draped in the golden sigils of Veldara nobility, the largest faction on Norvale. Beside her stood Lord Razek, a broad-shouldered, red-skinned diplomat with coal-black eyes and a smile that belonged more to a predator than a politician. Cale's heart hammered. Nava glanced once toward him, expression unreadable. Then, with the elegance of someone born to manipulation, she turned back to Razek, offering him a smile. Like nothing had ever happened. After the ceremony, Cale moved quickly through the crowd, finding her alone on a balcony overlooking the river of lights. "Nava," he said. She didn't look at him. "You shouldn't be here." "Then tell me what last night was." Her eyes flicked to him, distant and sharp. "A dream, one best forgotten." He reached for her arm. "Don't lie to me, you wiped every record of it. Why?" Nava exhaled, long and tired. "Because if they knew, they'd tear us both apart." "You mean Razek?" "I mean everyone. My house, his allies, your council." Cale stepped closer. "You made a choice, we both did." Nava turned toward him, and for a moment her mask slipped. Pain shimmered in her eyes. "I didn't come to you just for a moment, Cale. I came because I needed to feel like I had one decision that was mine. And now." She broke off, her hand resting briefly against her stomach. Cale's gaze followed her motion. "Nava." She nodded barely. Yes, it's yours, and no one can ever know." Cale felt the world tilt. Noise from the hall faded into meaningless hum. "How far?" 6 weeks. The child already shows signs of hybrid adaptation, enhanced neurosync. "We have to tell them." "We can't if they discover it's not Razek's. They'll force a binding, alter the genetics, raise it as a weapon." Cale clenched his fists. "So we just pretend, act like nothing happened, like that child doesn't matter." "I won't let them take it from me," she said fiercely. "But I need time, a way out, a plan." Cale touched her cheek gentle. "Then we plan it together." Her eyes softened. "We have until the next moon cycle, then bloodline scans begin." The night air shimmered with ozone and tension. Cale crouched beside a canal pipe in the lower levels of Norvale, glancing at his chrono every few seconds. Above, the dome lights were dimming into their artificial twilight. Nava appeared through a shimmer of light. Her stealth wrap flickered as she approached. "You're late," he muttered. "They're monitoring every corridor now. Razek's enforcers doubled their patrols." She knelt beside him, brushing his hand with hers. The contact was brief but grounding. You said your father plans to tamper with the child's genetics. How? They're using an ancient artifact, an inheritance stone. It reads lineage and allows retroactive imprinting. If they tie my child to Razek's blood, no scan will contradict it. Kale cursed under his breath. So we need real proof before they rewrite the truth. I already have it. A biolock file, encoded from our original contact. It's stored in an encrypted node deep within the old registry. The one below the vaults, that's sealed. Nava looked at him with a spark of defiance. Not to everyone. Footsteps echoed from the far corridor. Kale tensed. Nava reached for her pulse shard, but the shadow that emerged was familiar. Easy, it's me, said a voice low and raspy. Silker, once an elite intelligence operative for the Crimson Ring, now exiled and half-wanted across 7 systems. His skin was dark red, eyes pale like frosted glass. One side of his jaw was fused metal. You brought him, Kale whispered. He owes me, Nava said, and he has access. Silker smirked. And you have secrets worth burning planets for, fair trade. He pulled out a compact neural prism and projected a 3-dimensional map. Vault access point, old sector. We enter through maintenance sector Delta. Security, Kale asked. Non-lethal unless you're caught. They set off, slipping through the fractured tunnels of the lower city. Silker led them through derelict systems, past poolsing energy cores and defunct droid bays. At last, they reached the data vault, a monolithic chamber humming with forbidden knowledge. We've got 10 minutes before the next patrol sweep, Silker warned. Nava approached the primary node. She whispered to it in the old tongue, fingers dancing across its etched surface. The core pulsed, then opened. Inside, a crystal shard, faintly glowing. This contains the genetic imprint, she said, the truth of the child's origin. Kale reached for it, and alarms exploded around them. They traced the spike, Silker growled. Move. They ran down burning halls through collapsing corridors. Kale gripped the shard tight. At the final junction, security fields activated. Stun pulses blazed across their path. Go, Silker shouted, drawing fire. Kale turned to help, but Nava yanked him through a side vent. He chose this. Run. They emerged 3 levels above, breathless and shaken. But they had the proof. As they surfaced beneath the night sky, Nava turned to him, face wet with sweat and tears. We have one shot now. Kale held up the shard, still glowing. Let's make it count. Kale drifted in and out of consciousness. A thin hum, like static across nerve endings, vibrated through his skull. The memory chamber was cold, sterile, devoid of time. Light pulsed faintly above him, synchronized with each intrusion into his thoughts. Begin Phase 3, a voice echoed, flat and clinical. Pain lanced through his temples. Images flashed, Nava's face, the feel of her hand the night of the storm. The machine clawed deeper, trying to rewrite, suppress, destroy. He fought to hold on. Subject shows neural resistance, the technician reported. Increase amplitude, another voice snapped. Just as the intensity surged, alarms rang out. The lights flickered. The machine powered down with a guttural hiss. Footsteps, a scuffle, someone fell. Then, get him out, came a voice he knew too well. Nava. Kale's restraints disengaged. Warm hands caught him as he slumped forward. You came back, he croaked. I never left. Silker's gruff tone followed. You have 30 seconds before backup arrives. Move. Half-dragged, Kale stumbled through dark corridors. Each step brought his strength back. They descended into the underbelly of Norvale, a realm older than the city dome itself. Where are we going? Kale asked. Somewhere truth still lives, Nava replied. They reached a sealed stone arch etched with ancient runes. Silker pressed a crystal shard to the surface. It shimmered and split open. Beyond lay the forgotten archives, a chamber of light and whispers. Relics glowed in crystalline shelves. Knowledge banned, erased, hidden. This is what your council fears, Silker said. A place that remembers. Nava approached a pedestal, the prophecy. What prophecy? Kale asked. She placed the glowing shard, the genetic truth, into the pedestal. Runes ignited. A child of dual stars, she said, translating the ancient text. born of two bloods once divided. The one who walks both paths shall unbind the veil. Kale stared. They're not just afraid of the scandal, they're afraid of what our child might become. Nava met his gaze. They fear change because it can't be controlled. Footsteps echoed above. We need to go, Silker said. They've found the trail. Nava grabbed the shard. Kale gripped her hand. No more running, he said. Then we fight, she replied. And together they vanished back into the tunnels, ready to challenge a system built on lies.